to another video, guys. This one's brought to you by Cardo. As you guys know, Cardo is a big part of the channel, and he sent out a care package. And you guys know I've been using my Bell MX MIPS helmet for wheelie practice. Cardo sent out a PackTalk Edge second helmet kit, and this is what we're looking at here, boys. It was on my Bell carbon fiber helmet, and I used the helmet clamp to actually make that work. And that was an easy one to do, because I could actually slide the side of the helmet to slide it in. In this particular case with the Bell MX style helmet, MIPS helmet, you cannot squeeze the clamp on the side. However, Cardo has a solution, right? They have a 3M adhesive mount that is flexible, that you can somewhat shape it to the helmet and make that fit. We're gonna take a look to see what comes in the package in detail, and then we'll move into the installation and walk you guys through on what specifically I'm doing here. All right, let's take a quick look at the first little box that comes. These are little Velcro tabs, round ones for the helmet, adhesive, some alcohol wipes to clean the helmet, and also you have the lavalier wire version of the mic that you can use, which is what I'm gonna go with. Lavalier style is the way to go. It's gonna give me the best sound quality. And again, it's Cardo, boys. I mean, will it sound bad? Absolutely not. It's gonna sound amazing. All right, the second package, this is where the bulk of what you need. You have the JBL speakers, the best in the game, in the business. We have a second cradle for us to mount, the actual PackTalk Edge. And then we have our boom mic, guys. If you have an open face helmet, that's what you're gonna use. And these are the two mounts, guys. So the clamp that I mentioned before, that's on my left side of my hand. This is what I used on my original helmet, my Bell Star carbon helmet. But in this case, we're gonna use this. And this is my first time actually trying this mount, guys. It's pretty impressive. I think it's gonna hold up very well. I'm gonna give you guys a long-term review about it. But for now, let's get this set up so we can actually get this on. We're gonna grab our Cardo unit so we can take the helmet apart safely without getting any dings and dents on it. The Bell MX helmet does not have any speaker pockets. Also on the very side of the helmet, it is curved down. And lastly, you don't have the option to slide the clamp to the side because everything is mounted so tightly in there. Hence why we're gonna use the 3M adhesive mount on this scenario. And I'm looking forward to practice doing wheelies with that, because it's gonna be extending the test of durability of me falling or banging my helmet. This is the mount we're gonna be using, guys. It's a 3M. It's also somewhat semi-flexible where you can curve it around the helmet. That way things could be flush to the best of your abilities when you're actually placing it on there. But before we do anything else, let's take off the plastic and do some dry fit tests to see how it's gonna fit, how it's gonna look. Let's grab the cradle and see which way it's gonna fit. It's fairly straightforward. You just wanna make sure every single pin aligned before you slide that in so you don't break anything. Just like that. That looks pretty good. And now we move on to the dry fit test. Don't stick it on yet. I know people are very excited. You want to go out there and ride, do your thing, but let's do some dry fit tests to see how well it fits on the helmet. Try to find the flattest spot on the helmet and the least amount of bending that's required. All right, let's clean the helmet. You're gonna grab that alcohol pad that they gave you or your own alcohol. You've made it this far into the video, you might as well hit that thumbs up and subscribe. We strive to create amazing content, any style of motorcycle content, but we try to do it well. So hit that subscribe button, man. Join what we do here and show love and support. All right, we're gonna let that either air dry, or you can just, use an air dryer to kind of just dry it out. All right, now we're gonna grab our heat gun, trusted heat gun, guys. I use this all the time for whenever I'm installing GoPro mounts, I'm installing any kind of 3M adhesive unit onto my bike or onto a helmet or some kind of camera. I like to preheat the 3M adhesive sticky part. That way we get maximum adhesion to the actual helmet. Take a quick look. This is one thing that I think is really cool with this helmet mount. It has a lot of give. It has a lot of flex. So if you have a helmet that curves somewhat, or it's not your usual shape or fitment, you can always bend it a little bit, right? I love that it has a little bit of flexibility. So Cardo's thinking outside of the box. There we go. That looks perfect. Now I'm just gonna apply some pressure on it. Since it's already nice and warm, the chances of it sticking extremely well, it is high. So you cannot afford to get this wrong. Make sure you triple check or do several dry fits. after you heat it up and then place it on. Perfect. Looks good. Now we're gonna drop the cradle in just to see how it looks, how it feels, and then we'll move into working on the inside of the helmet. Perfect. Now, this section of the install, you have to use your own discretion as you're doing this. I like to take apart the inner liner from the back first so I can observe and see where the air channels go, where it's not gonna build any pressure point to determine where's the best place to put the wiring. Now we're gonna pull off the right-hand side of the cheek pad. Take a look, there is no speaker pocket in this helmet. However, you do have an option to open up this little pocket right here, guys, and you could fit your 40mm JBL Cardo speakers in there. What's really dope about this, and I like this a lot, there is no miss, right? Once you put it inside those little pockets, once you put the helmet on, it's not gonna create any pressure point into your ear. It's not gonna hurt over time because it's designed for it to fit exact. So really, really dope. I actually like the system way better than my other helmet, but in a situation like this with the speaker pocket in the cheek pads, Velcroed in, you're 100% secure. It's not gonna come out, it's not gonna rotate. When you're putting the helmet on or taking it off, it's not gonna displace the speaker. It's perfect. So we're gonna safety clip those cheek pads back in and move forward. Moving on, we're on the left-hand side of the helmet. We're gonna pull out the cheek pad and do a rinse and repeat, right? Fairly straightforward. Make sure you're pretty easy with the snaps as you're snapping them off. There we go. Take a look at that cheek pad, guys. Make sure you swap your cheek pads, by the way, man. Pro tip, don't use them for like a year. Try to get new cheek pads in or new liner. That way your helmet stays nice and fresh. Take a look at that speaker pocket, man. I really like the system. It makes it so much easier for you to fit your JBL Cardo speakers in. There you go, that looks perfect. Doesn't get any better than that. All right, let's put that back in. I'm gonna run the rings back through and then just pull that in and then snap back the cheek pads. Now we get to the wiring, boys. Very important that you scout in the beginning, see where you want everything to go, because what happens is if you have those wires bunched up in one section of the helmet, it could create pressure points. 40 minutes, an hour into it, you might start feeling these pressure points. So, use your own discretion when you're doing this, and you know your head best, right? So you want to kind of follow the channels or follow the best courses. All right, let's plug in the speakers. I love this part, guys. That's one of the things that I like about this system. The speakers are modular, right? The climp's modular, right? The cradle's modular, the unit's modular, and also the boom mic or the lav mic's modular. So you can pretty much replace anything and everything no matter where you are. And that's the beauty of Cardo, boys. I'm super excited about this. By the way, I mentioned this before, guys. Make sure you hit that thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. We strive to produce quality moto content and would truly appreciate it. Also, big shout out to the patrons that's been contributing to the channel, helping us guide where we go, what's being shown on the channel, the kind of content I get to produce. So make sure you hit the link in the description, join our Patreon. We also do giveaways. We do send out some cool packages to people. Join one of the tiers, I'd appreciate it. Back to the action. Let's connect that lav mic and then find a nice, neat place to stick it on the inside of the helmet. Very, very modular system. Very easy for you to connect something like the boom mic or the lav mic. There's one thing that Cardo does nobody really talk about because it's not very essential. They use just the right amount of wiring to fit the inside of the helmet, so you don't have to bunch up quite a bit of wiring throughout the helmet. The one thing that I love to do is to find a very specific spot for the lav mic. I don't like it for it to be right in front of my mouth, because when I pronounce S, P's and do like pops, those tend to either get blown out or distort the audio. So I like to find a spot where towards more the cheek side of my face. We're gonna get ourselves some of the Velcro that's been provided by the Cardo PackTalk Edge Second Helmet Kit. I'm gonna mount it to the side of the inside of the helmet. And of course, make sure you clean the inside of the helmet with alcohol as well, let it dry. And then you're gonna mount that right on the side. At least for me, I use one of the bigger pieces, that way I can move it around based on how I feel. Or let's say if it's too loud or it's catching too much wind, you can just unvelcro it and revelcro it. Now, I'm gonna give you another pro tip for those moto vloggers out there, boys. If you really wanna be down with the wind noise, you can actually mount the actual lav mic inside the cheek pad itself, because there's a lot of cushion. You're not gonna have any pressure point, and you're not gonna have any wind gusts as well. But for me, this is more of a helmet that I use for doing wheelies in the parking lot. I'm not doing 100 miles an hour. So very excited. Again, special thank you to Cardo for being part of the channel. Love the product, and I've said it before, I'll say it again, guys. Highly recommend you grab yourself a Cardo. They're the best in the game, best in the business, and trust me, I'm not the only one saying this. It's facts, baby. I know. Take a look. The last thing I'm going to talk about. It's one of my favorite thing of the unit, guys. Whether you have your gloves on, you have your gloves off, you have the helmet on, or you have the helmet off, you can easily just magnetically snap it on. It's like magic. So dope. Easy for you to handle whether you have gloves or not. Pretty dope, man. You guys will thank me later, man. Hit the link in the description, shop Cardo, and support the channel. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.